Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Contour Community Meeting. Today is March 9th, 2021, and as you can see, we had a little snafu happen this weekend. Um, VMware IT moved some domains around to new registrars, and they weren't supposed to be updating DNS, but they were. So that all failed. So thank you, everyone who pinged me. I got so many pings. I love it, which is great because it means that, hey, people are actually viewing our site and trying to use it. So great. Unfortunately, that also meant that some installs couldn't be completed because we're reliant on the domain to actually work for those installs. Luckily, we got that solved pretty quickly yesterday on Monday. So now that should be fine. I've also started the process with CNCF. I thought this had been done already, but apparently it had not. I've started the process with CNCF to migrate the domain over to CNCF as well. So hopefully we won't have this issue going forward. But since we just moved registrars, I'm guessing the domain is locked for a period of time before we can actually do the migration. But we'll figure that out. So yes, I'm not saying it was DNS, but it was absolutely DNS. Per usual, it was the network's fault. It wasn't storage or users this time. It was the network. So yeah, that's good now. So yeah, yesterday afternoon we were online again. So hopefully the outage didn't cause too much problem. And again, apologize for that. All right. Let's dive into a few things that we've been working on. Steve.
Yeah, so as part of the Gateway API work, I have a PR up for setting status on HTTP routes. So if folks want to take a look at that. I feel like we don't need to get like a doc together for like what statuses should be, because I don't know, I still feel like my understanding of what they are and how they were designed originally aren't always in line. But anyway, so if you play around with this will set the accepted on a route when Contour picks it up, and then it'll set errors. So if you have a missing port or a missing service or an invalid service or something like that, if you right now enable TLS, I added a not implemented condition so that we can just let folks know that if they do something and we haven't done that yet, it doesn't look like Contour's broken, I guess. It just says, hey, we haven't done this thing yet, it's coming. So hopefully that's good. I had to do a bunch of rework on all the status packages, which I think we should take it as a tech debt to do it again. I feel like there's a lot of I don't know, it's not straightforward, I guess, how it works. So I feel like we could clean it up a little bit. But in any case, I didn't do that work. I just added the Gateway API bits to it. So check that out. And then the second bit is here's the parent issue. So I've gotten pinged by folks who want to work on certain things. So I know someone else is working on some TLS bits. Someone else is working on the namespace selector bits. So if folks want to work on this, that's totally cool. It doesn't have to be me. Anyone can pick these up. This is the kind of epic that we've put together. Hopefully I've been linking all the different bits together on here. So from this spot here, you can peel off to other things. So feel free to pick it up and let someone know that you like to work on it and chat about it a little bit and go from there.
For any of these issues, any of them that are linked tagged as good first issues?
We probably could. Some of them, I don't know. Some of this is just stuff there at the wall just to get it somewhere to put it together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think. Like the validation of host names probably could be one. I think the missing service we have to dig through them a little bit. I can do a little grooming over that.
That'd be great.
And pull those out. Yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions, comments for Steve? All right, Daniel.
Yeah, similar to Steve, I'm just iterating on the initial Gateway API support in the operator. Got the link there where we've got several PRs that are ready for review. I know the TLS validation and also probably that route selection validation is on hold until we can discuss validation and status and more detail amongst the maintainers. The other thing that I'm doing also is there's definitely some test flakes going on, trying to reproduce the flakes, and I'm not able to fully reproduce it, but I do think I may know what's going on here. So I just created an issue. I'm gonna submit a PR. And so hopefully we can get consistent CI jobs pass and get rid of this flake.
Hey, Steve, is this tied to what we were talking about yesterday? Is it?
Sort of, yeah. So we were talking about they're not exactly the same, but so the issue we talked about, Jonas and I, was running. So when Contour changes something, a lot of times we've broken the operator because we've added something that needed to be there or taken something away or something like that. So what Daniel would do is we would push a merge to Contour, and then we'd break that, and Daniel would have to go run and send a PR for that. So the idea is we wanted more feedback on that loop to know that it wasn't the operator that was broken, it was Contour that sort of broken as a dependency. So that was one thing that we were looking at doing that. So today, if you look back to those actions, you'll see that we're running those every hour. So it's kind of nice to see in this event having the hourly test to see where they've run and then they failed and they've run, leading to what Daniel's saying with it's being flaky. So where with no code changes, those have failed and run at different times. What we're talking about was actually running, triggering this build here instead of running it every hour, but having it run when something pushes to Contour. So that if we did have notifications on for the operator today, we would have had all these different failures getting pinged at us at various times of the day.
So maybe this particular issue brings up the use case that it'd almost be nice to have both. Right?
Yeah.
Because here is an example that there was nothing within Contour that caused these failures. Just there's something within the operator itself. So it's nice having, maybe if we do that trigger, that instead of doing it hourly, maybe we do it, I don't know, once or twice a day or something like that. But I think this is kind of a use case that it's nice to have both.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so we can decide. We haven't done any work with that, but you and I, Jonas, were talking about notifications and where to push stuff. We talked about this last week too. Should it be an email? Should it be a Slack? If it's Slack, where does it go? That sort of thing. So yeah, for now, I think this is great. This is having this feedback is good. At least having these run every hour. So we'll have to, so one of those things where I thought this was too much, and now this has helped out. So that's good. So that's experience, I guess, coming into play of doing this. Anyway, so yeah, that's a roundabout answer to your question, I think. So cool. This explains too, Dana. Yesterday when I got that failure, I was merging a bunch of things into main, and then I got a failure from it, and I was like, oh no, I broke it, and that's why I opened that one test or that one issue just to make sure folks were aware of it, and then maybe it wasn't an issue all along. So that's good.
Yeah. So it looks like you got the reverse of what I normally deal with. But yeah, I'm going to submit a PR that closes out that issue.
Okay.
Again, I can't reproduce it exactly locally, but it does look like when I take a Contour CR and I change it from its defaults to making it gateway enabled, right? To set the gateway class reference and then create the gateway class and a gateway. That does cause a lot of errors. And again, in that issue, I said, I think there's a PR that fixes it where that's basically the refactoring of how the status conditions are managed. That essentially removes a lot of those errors and just turns them into status conditions, ultimately what we want to do. But I think, at least for the time being, is I'd like to maybe revert part of this test so we have consistent CI builds and tests.
The only thing I can think of, I know locally with Contour, I've had issues with running some of the cert tests because my Mac is like super busy doing a bunch of things. The certs will fail sometimes because I think that they're created only like a few seconds in the future, the expiration on them. and then I'll have those fail and I'll run them again, then they'll pass. Because I think my Mac just can't process through the test fast enough. I just wonder if something in GitHub Actions is just, I'm sure the machines we get are super pared
A
down.
little bit slower.
Yeah, in terms of performance, I don't know if that has an effect or not.
Yeah, with this, I mean, it's somewhere where, you know, in this kind of status syncing workflow, where, you know, if an object changes, like really, I mean, the major changes that are happening are, you know, a finalizer being applied, that it's, you know, the failures and the CI jobs seem to be that, you know, it's trying to update status and has an older copy because, for example, you know, something had changed, like the finalizer had been applied. So, you know, again, I think there's a PR that will fix that, but in the meantime, I'd like to have consistent builds. So I'm going to create a PR that removes some of these tests just because we have the coverage in the end-to-end tests. So anyways, you'll see that here shortly. But even with that aside, it'd be nice to get some eyes on some of the operator PRs. I think there's, I don't know, 6 or 7 of them, and most of them are review worthy.
Nice. I was just wondering, we're not at any GitHub Actions limits or anything like that, running them every hour. I don't think so. Just
Yeah, I think the open source is all free, from my understanding.
yeah, I was reading up on it. It's like 20 action runs at the same time or something like that. So we're not. Okay.
If we had pressed that CNCF money, we could run a runner somewhere else.
Yeah. Well,
You know, I have
yeah.
seen some other flakes on some of you know, on some of the GitHub Actions. I'm not sure if anyone else is seeing any kind of flakes within Contour.
No, I haven't really seen. I'm not. That could not. I'm just thinking of things that it could be. You know, if it doesn't work locally, that it flakes in Actions. I'm trying to think what's different. So it may not be the issue at all. I don't know. It steers in the wrong direction for the wrong thing, but yeah.
Yeah, because there's definitely an issue going on here, but I'm also seeing some other things that don't seem to be related, but not as consistent as what we're seeing here with this build and test failure. So anyways, all right.
it looks a little weird here that this is taking super long compared to the others. I don't know.
That's true. Yeah. An hour and a half. But then that one took 16 and 13.
And here it succeeded in, yeah, like 17 minutes, and here it succeeded in 44, this added half hour almost.
And the current one's already 37 minutes in.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
yesterday
This
on one
one
of the
just started.
PRs, you know, like the end, one of the tests failed, and I looked at it and it just didn't, yeah, it didn't really make any sense where like the step to where it failed. To me, it was just kind of indicated like something going on with the CI environment. But again, this build and test failure seems to be kind of the most prevalent CI issue right now that I'd like to try to have some consistency there.
So this one, I saw it was queued before, so it hasn't been running for 39 minutes yet. It was queued and just started.
Okay.
Well, this is cool. Yeah, I would like to see. Do you still want to have more notifications when CI jobs fail, Steve?
Yeah,
Or-
I think it'd be
good.
good to have. I don't know if we could have like a, you know, a CI channel in Slack or something, or I don't know. Because when your build fails on a PR, you get an email from them, which is great, you know. But if the merge to main fails, if we don't check this, we don't really know. Or we could put a badge on the front page or something, but that isn't. Again, if you don't look there, you won't know that it broke. So My fear
I
is if
think
it just
some kind of
happens.
Slack notification would be really awesome if we could pull that off. And if it's
Yeah.
too much, maybe even just like an email. But I definitely don't check my email probably nearly as often as I'm jumping in the repo and digging around. And since we've had this hourly build and test, I've been getting into a pretty nice habit on a daily basis, checking it at least once or twice a day. So it's just awesome that we have this hourly job right now.
I can look at and see if we can do a CI channel on the Kubernetes Slack and see if we can tie it in there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
All right, I'll look into it. Anything else there, Daniel?
No, that's it. Thanks.
All right. Just a quick update from me. I'm working with CNCF. I'm working with CNCF on the docs revamp. So as we talked about last week, so Celeste, she started the kind of docs research, the docs assessment. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. So she started the docs assessment last week. It's going to take her a couple of weeks, and then I'll meet up with her in most likely like 2 weeks or so, and then we'll talk about her results as well on the upcoming community meeting after that. And then building on that, we can then create a bunch of issues and allow people towards it and open up for kind of a tech writer working group taking over the office hours every now and then. So this is cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Anyone have anything else they want to add on? Talk about any discussion topics? Anything that they've been working on? Going once, twice, banging the gavel. All right. Thank you all for the community meeting today. Have a fantastic rest of the week, everyone, and see you all next week. Bye, folks.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye.